Hey guys, it's now day 2 out in beautiful Drumheller. We're still here at Horse Thief Canyon. And if you guys didn't see it a couple weeks ago, I posted an unboxing of the FPV drone. Here it is. And if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it above. After posting that video, what I got from a lot of you guys is you wanted to know what it's actually flying in normal mode and sport mode to see if you can actually fly it. I know FPV can be very intimidating and kind of scary, but honestly, this drone makes it really easy. So I'm going to show you what it's like. Also, by no means am I an expert whatsoever. I've probably only flown this about 5 times, and I have not taken this into manual mode. First of all, this is the best part of this drone. Wait for it. So cool every time, never gets old. Also, it is pretty windy out today, so keep that in mind while this is up in the air. But for the most part, once I get down into these coulees back here, it should be okay. Okay, and now we're up in the air and we're recording. Lots of cars coming in actually. So right now I am in normal mode, so this drone isn't going to go too fast. Right now I'm full throttle all the way down, and I would say this is probably the same speed as like a Mavic or like a Mavic Air or Mavic Mini or something like that. So you can see as I'm going straight forward and I start to turn with the left stick, you can see that the horizon kind of shifts a little bit, and this is like actually how you can get some really cinematic movements. Just by going back and forth just like this, nice and easy. If I were really trying to get a good sequence out of this, I might be a little bit more smooth with it. But yeah, this is normal mode. Obviously kind of slow, a little bit boring, but it's pretty good to start out, and it's not too intimidating at all. And again, it is fairly windy out here, and this drone is handling pretty well. Right now it says I'm going 45 kilometers an hour, like full stick forward, just in normal mode.
Full stick.
Bring it back up. You can see it's getting a little bit jittery on its way back up, fighting the wind. Coming up back to us. Here we are. So I think normal mode is probably best for maybe like tighter areas and stuff like that. Like out in a big field like this, it's gonna look kind of boring. Even if I go really close to the ground, it gets a little bit more cinematic that way. Not too bad. And then you can start doing some turns left and right. Get some kind of cinematic movements, but honestly, normal mode gets kind of boring pretty quick. That is until you switch it into sport mode. So I'm gonna go ahead, switch it in, and now I'm gonna go full stick forward, and I'm flying a lot faster, as you can probably tell already. Now I'm already up to 95 kilometers an hour. Which is pretty nuts for this only being in sport mode, not even full manual. And now you can see this gets a lot more interesting. You get some really cool and interesting shots this way. But as soon as I let go of these sticks here, just like this, the drone's gonna stop and hover just in its place. Whereas if you had an actual FPV drone out here, if I did this, I'd go crashing down, which is always a good fail-safe and makes you feel a lot more confident flying this thing for sure.
Are you aware that you lean left and right depending on which way you're going?
No. You'll definitely notice too that when you're in sport mode, this acts a lot different, and it's kind of more of an ice rink as you're turning. So you definitely have to. It helps you get used to like the pitch and the roll and everything, and how you can turn more on the dime if you actually roll a little bit more into your turns. So that always helps. The other thing actually that you're not going to be able to do in sport mode is you can't really, if I start to if I start to ascend like this, your horizon is going to stay pretty level. You're not going to be able to like climb and look straight up. And when you're diving like this, you can't really get a good dive. That's about as much as I can go down. As I'm descending, I can't really do a dive straight down. Which would be kind of cool if there was like an in-between. It'd be kind of cool if there'd be an in-between a sport mode and a manual where you could like dive a little bit more and you could adjust that. With these rolls in sport mode, you can also change the settings so that you can roll less than this. So I can like roll pretty good, like up to like a 45 it's almost like. And if I wanted, I can change that so that I don't roll as much if you're getting disoriented, if you're just starting out. But honestly, as a beginner flying this, flying in sport mode isn't really that bad at all. And you can get some really cool shots throughout these canyons and these coulees like this. Again, I'm no pro. This isn't the most cinematic thing you're gonna see, but this is just a good example of what you can get out of sport mode flying this drone. And so I've been up for 4 minutes now. Again, it's very windy out, and I still have 48% of the battery left. Comparing this to an FPV drone, if you're trying to get into it, I would have been landed about 2 minutes ago already and had to change batteries. So the fact that this battery does last this long in the wind, in sport mode, going between 60 and 100 kilometers an hour is incredible and is a lot of fun.
You look like a giant bird out there.
There we go. Getting some really cool shots now. So the other thing, my goggles right now, because I'm flying kind of close to the ground out there, my goggles are telling me that there's obstacles in the way, and right now I think I could fly into something if I wanted to, but a lot of the times in sport mode there's an obstacle avoidance thing that turns on, and when that does turn on it kind of slams on its brakes so you don't accidentally run into anything, which again, as a beginner in FPV is something that you're really going to appreciate. Okay, so I just lost signal. It's back recording again. I lost signal on my goggles and on my remote. So what it did, if I was flying a regular FPV drone and this just happened, I would have completely lost the drone. I would have to go find it. Right now I've regained signal. I've reset this to come home. It popped up so that I have signal again. Basically what happened is I just went too low into the hoodoos and I lost the signal. I am pretty far out there. Yeah, okay, so right there you can see the home. You can see the home point, so I am a far ways out. And yeah, had I done this with an FPV drone, I'd be looking for the drone right now. So right now this just hovered where it was. It went up until it found signal, and if it didn't find signal, it would have just came home. But now that it found signal, it's just hovering out there, which is amazing.
I feel relieved.
Yeah. Had this happened in manual mode, I'm not sure actually what would happen. I think it would kind of do the same thing. The other feature that this drone has, which is amazing, that would be a godsend for a lot of things, is I'm going to go ahead and fly straight forward, and I'm going to hit the pause button. And you can see it just like braked right in spot there, which is awesome. And now that it's braked, now I can take it off that and I can get out and move again and fly around. And if at any time I'm like panicked or anything, or I can't get control of it, or I'm disorientated, even if you go completely upside down in full manual mode, you can always hit that pause button. It'll stop and hover for you. But I have 12% left in the battery, so I'm gonna come back. Getting a little jittery fighting the wind. And there's the home point, which you don't get with other drones either, which is another amazing thing that makes this drone wicked. Okay, now we'll get the drone. So yeah, there's a little bit about what sport and normal mode is like. I think it's really important to have some of these safety features, like the fact that it hovers when you lose signal and everything. If this happened on any other drone, like I said, it could be completely lost. And having all these little safety features makes you 10 times more confident flying this thing. But if you guys do have any questions about using this drone in normal or sport mode, I know it can sound intimidating, but honestly, this drone makes it really easy. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you guys liked this video and thought it was helpful, please hit that like button. It actually helps us out. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button so we can see you next week. Bye. What?
You're just such a little nerd in your goggles.
Thank you, Chelsea. That's my wife, everybody.
I'm not the
Okay.
only one laughing at you out here.
Why?
There's people over here that are laughing at you.
Why are they laughing at me? They're not laughing at me.
They were.
No, they weren't. Shut up. What do you mean?
They just saw you with the camera and your goggles on your forehead, and they were looking at you like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Making that good YouTube money. $200 a month.
AdSense, baby.